Hello YouTube, and hello gamer. This is the first episode of Off-Camera Hunting, because I did the Retro Hunters thing like a little under a year ago, and we've never actually gotten back to it. But even though that was our only Retro Hunters episode, that doesn't mean that me and Zach don't go retro hunting at all. In fact, we actually go quite often. Like, most of the crap back there I've culminated from like the past year, ever since I uploaded that video and started getting into retro gaming. But so yeah, I just wanted to kind of show off some of the stuff that I've recently picked up, and most of this is from the same place, which would be a Goodwill store that's in the area. First off, might as well start this episode strong. Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. I made sure that it was the Mike Tyson version and not the Punch-Out featuring Mr. Dream, because this is the real one. Yeah, Punch-Out's a fun game. Pretty much anybody who has an NES needs it. It's a fun game because once you get the rhythm going, then you can go through all the guys, and then when you get to Mike Tyson, dead. You're never gonna beat Mike Tyson. Well, at least I haven't, but that's because I suck at games. Next, I got a factory sealed new Super Mario Bros. For the DS. This was a little under $30, and you don't really see many, like, still in the packaging DS games anymore, especially with the 3DS out, so they're not making new DS games. I mean, I already have new Super Mario Bros., but that was loose, and I never actually had the case for it. And, you know, trade bait. Next up, this actually came as a bundle. First off, it's Pokemon Coliseum for the GameCube, one of my favorite Pokemon games of all time. And it came with the bonus disc. So it comes with a Regirochi. It's adorable. Shut up. Yeah, this was a bundle for like $10, so I had to grab it. And while I already own Pokemon Coliseum, the copy that I have, I actually borrowed from a friend back in middle school, and I just never gave it back, so now I have a reason to give it back. That's pretty much the extent of the newer games, but time to get back to actual retro. First up is Turok: The Rage Wars. I know I made an ass out of myself on the Retro Hunters video when I said, oh, they made a Turok 2? That's kind of when I wish I had a friend who knows about video games, and then he'd slap me upside the head and say, yeah, they made Turok 2 and 2 other Turok games for the N64. And this is one of them. The Rage Wars, it's not actually like the other Turok games, which are, you know, first-person shooter, where there's a story or whatnot. This one, it's pretty much mostly a multiplayer game. Really fun multiplayer too, I might add. It's not as fun playing one person, because there is like one-person trials, but if you have a buddy and multiple N64 controllers, pick this up. Next on the N64 list, these two came bundled: Pokemon Stadium and Dr. Mario 64. Now with Pokemon Stadium, it's not all that fun of a game by itself, but if you have a transfer pack and red, blue, or yellow, then it's a lot of fun because then you can transfer your party into the game. Or you can use this as an emulator and play red, blue, or yellow on your N64. And Dr. Mario 64, when I picked this up, I just thought it was the N64 version of Dr. Mario, like there is on the NES, the Game Boy, and the WiiWare. But actually, there's a story mode where it's kind of like a battle mode where it's the character you pick. You can pick Dr. Mario or Wario. And as you progress through the story, you go up against different guys. And then you have to beat them playing Dr. Mario, either by getting all your viruses cleaned out, or if they're dumb enough to stack up their pills and lose. So yeah, it's like Tetris Battle almost. I think that's what that's called, I'm not sure. But it's definitely a fun game. Very infuriating. Especially in the later levels of the story. And for the last bit for the N64, I got Pokemon Snap. I already have this game, but now that I have another loose card, I can actually put my copy of Pokemon Snap back in the box. I luckily still have the box from ye olden times. Next is Jet Force Gemini. Never actually played this one myself, but I noticed Rare made it, and everyone knows any game Rare made on the N64 is good. Anything past that is kind of, what happened to you, Rare? So I'm looking forward to playing that one. Next is Novelty, Hey You Pikachu. I don't have the mic to go with this, I'm looking for that. So can't really play it without the mic. Kind of a really stupid game, but it's a Pokemon game, what can I say? And last in that bundle is Perfect Dark, which I picked up on the Retro Hunters video. But these 4 games came in a bundle, so, and besides, what's so bad about having a duplicate card? And the main reason why I bought that bundle was for the transfer pack I was talking about earlier. I had a transfer pack back in the day, but I haven't a clue what happened to it. Kind of like half my N64 collection. So yeah, I don't really know what you can use the transfer pack for other than Pokemon Stadium. I want to say you can use it for Perfect Dark if you have the Game Boy game of that, but I'm not really sure what else. Next up is Sonic Advance 2. I really like the Sonic games, and really the only Sonic Advance game I have is the first one. I've known about the other 2 for the Game Boy Advance, I just never got around to getting them. So finally got this in my collection. And now for the coup de grace. For a grand total of 40 bucks, I got this massive stack of Game Boy games. When I first saw this, I thought that it was all going to be just like junk titles. But when I actually got a closer look, I had to get it. First one on this stack is Super Mario Bros. Deluxe. It's essentially a port of the first Super Mario Bros. But there's a save feature in it, which is kind of cool. It makes it a bit more playable. Even though if you're like me, I can run through Super Mario Bros. Like it's nobody's business. Next is Adventure Island. I'm pretty sure this is just a port of the NES game. Never actually played an Adventure Island game, but this one's really fun. It takes a different take on the platformer genre. Next is Regular Ass Baseball. Just regular ass baseball. Then when I saw the yellow card, I assumed that it was Pokemon, but actually it's Donkey Kong Land. And while it's made by Rare, and it's a Donkey Kong game, it's really not that good. It kind of feels like a dumbed down port of Donkey Kong Country for the SNES. Like, pretty much of what it looks like is if they took Donkey Kong Country and then just compressed it. Like, as soon as you look on the title screen, like, it has the Rhino, Donkey, and Diddy, and they're, like, compressed horribly. I'm like, dear God, that looks horrible. And the rest of the game looks pretty horrible. Like, even the music. It's not a good game, but whatever. Next is Kirby's Dream Land. The first game I ever got on the Game Boy, which I still have to this day, but I like having duplicates. And besides, it's Kirby. No one can be mad at Kirby, he's too adorable. Next is Super Mario Land. Just like with a lot of other games, I never actually got around to playing the Super Mario Land games, even though they're on the Virtual Console for the 3DS. This one's really fun. The sprite work is kind of horrible, but it's one of the first games for the Game Boy, so what do you expect? You need to get like the other two Mario Land games. And next up, you can't have a Game Boy stack without this. Tetris. I might give this one to Austin because he's a massive Tetris fan. I don't need to talk about Tetris. It's fucking Tetris. Who's never played Tetris? What is wrong with you? Up next, Wario Blast, featuring Bomberman. And you can see Bomberman just kind of chilling right there. I don't even know why it's called Wario Blast featuring Bomberman when it's just a Bomberman game featuring Wario. Marketing kind of messed that one up a little bit. I've never actually gotten around to playing the Bomberman games other than Bomberman Hero on the N64. I need to get around to get into one for the Super NES. Next up is pretty much the rough of the diamond. It's Yogi Bear's Gold Rush. It's pretty bad. It's your typical merchandise game. It's a platformer with Yogi Bear in it, and it's not a good one at that. And lastly, the crowning jewel of this whole stack, Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening. I'm really glad that I actually found this one, because I had Link's Awakening DX as a kid, lost it, but I've never actually had the original Link's Awakening. In fact, when I got this, I was so excited, I decided that I wanted to keep it safe. Oh, what's this, you ask? Well, you're just gonna have to stick around and wait for the next video for me to explain what this is all about. But, yeah, this is pretty much my off-camera hunting for the past while. I'm probably gonna have to film another episode pretty soon because I think I saw more Zelda games back there at that Goodwill that I need to kind of snatch up. But anyway, that's pretty much all that I've picked up recently, and for the most part it's pretty good. Got it all for really good deals, and it's the thrill of the hunt. You never know what you're gonna find, but when you do find it, you're gonna be really happy. Oh, it's corny as all hell. So, until next time, Cheerio. Actually, you want to hear something that's really funny? Off-camera hunting. If you were to make that into an acronym, it would be pronounced "och," because I'm Dutch and I pronounce things Dutch-like. Och. That's why they say that Dutch isn't actually a language, it's more of a disease of the throat.